Kia ora from Aotearoa. It's Poppy speaking here with the current 9 wave Mayan sacred calendar energies, and we are starting a new 9-day phase in 9 Sun. So 9 Sun is the 10th day of the DAYWAVE of 13 Monkey, and this new 9-day phase is a phase of unconditional love. Love is actually unconditional, and it's far more than romance. It's the balance and harmony of every experience with love, acceptance and forgiveness. The enlightening source energy light codes from the sun may repattern matrices of our minds. As beings having a human experience, it is our belief systems that create a shared paradigm. We may be more enlightened to break patterns that have kept a paradigm of inequality and oppression in place, and repattern our mind matrix through the receiving of source-like code energy through the sun that empower the purposes we have as a destiny to a new earth. These energies flow into our crown and process through our brains and affect our mind. The mind exists in the unified quantum field, connecting us all. It is here that I discovered true and unconditional love, as the light of exposure showed up the density, illusions, and shadows of life. The criminals who harmed me and the countless children lost to SRA, that's satanic ritual abuse, so terribly in this life operated in secret as covens that are experts at covering up their atrocities. They are being brought to justice now by the force of Source and the awakening and illumination that is far beyond any court of this world. The court systems of the old paradigm are all satanic rituals where the magi, straights, don their satanic garb, their black capes, and order participants to address them as your worship. It's still all done in secret in the power of Luciferian or black magic. So injustices have been heaped on injustices to keep blood sacrifice alive. And I did a post on the day of 7/9 which explains how this began and how we could hopefully help this all to end. You know, our consciousness is something that connects all together in this field. So it's up to us all to participate, especially when we do not want to see these things happening anymore for our children, for our communities, for anyone. I wish none of this upon anyone having experienced it and survived it. So I've been studying and investigating the Mayan connection for many years now, and there is no way it could ever be explained in a post. There's so much information that's led up to what I've discovered at this time. So all my sharing is based on my discoveries and direct experiences with them. I've really lived this. The unconditional light and love that comes through the sun portal directly from Source has no need of worship or enforcement power. In fact, worship is like a warship. It's like a whoreship. It's a very negative, low energy, where energy is given and siphoned. And so this is not the way of nature. It is not the way of Source, but rather that we amplify our fields and become the most loving creation that we possibly can be. And due to the culmination of all time now being experienced all at once, right now, the illusions are being upturned and dealt with directly in the now. This culmination may show up in our lives as we realize we have been healing all lives and our existence all the way back to our beginning. So this magnetizes a new reality where true unconditional love will be maintained, and the justice involved removes some from this unified field and into another field where any living souls will experience whatever is needed for their soul development, and that they will learn there. They're not all living souls, by the way. They have been here for our evolution, our development. In some ways we put them there, even though our consciousness was hijacked for quite some of that time. So those of us who share this kind of experiencing are going to have beautiful times of joy and celebration as we stabilize ourselves within our shared unified field, and we will create heaven on earth together. All souls have been through different processes of evolution based upon our choices and dedication to health and wholing. The Lyran Wars shocked and traumatized many souls, and they're still playing out today. The Lyrans were peaceful. They were not warmongers at all. And when the reptilians came along and basically blew their planet up, they were left shocked and traumatized. So as a result, in the maturing of our souls, we entered the foreign territories of fighting as we perceived it necessary for our lives and those of our loved ones. Therefore, we were a part of the creation of perceived source separation for a long while. This came from a soul-shattered foundation. So when we have that soul shattering, we literally have to pull ourselves together and pull all these lives together, and that's what a lot of us have been doing, and well done. Our physical form is like a biofeedback device that holds dis-ease and tension. From our observations within our personal field, we get to discover causes, and then from our guidance system with Source, we find out how to hold it and to go on to do so fearlessly. Now, many of us have learned the immense power of true and unconditional love, and that is the only way to stand in our power, whole our souls, and change the patterning within our fields to magnetize a true and loving reality. Well done, well done. This has been an epic venture, and let's continue to handle any remaining conflicts with this by the power of our hearts. It is the journey of souls evolving. The times of celebration will come when the loose ends are all sorted and we unite in physical presence with true soul tribe of similar vibe to create a beautiful new earth. Bring it on, and so it is. And now I just wanted to go over what I have written for Seven Life. Like, this has been my life's work to discover this. Like, how do we make our way out of this patterning, this matrix? And so this is a little bit of a summary that I've put together to the best of my ability, but of course it falls back on a lot more research. Sorry, that was just a truck waiting for it to go past. So, reflection and clarity of what is true, discernment with cutting away what no longer serves our consciousness. It is the centre point of the road Tresina where our purpose conducts our destiny when we know it, and who we are and why we are here. It is the 8th day of the DAYWAVE and 13 monkey which sends us on to this road and is about curiously observing the psychological operations of the matrix mind controls timelines, and just having that little laugh at my little verbal faux pas. That just reminds me about the playfulness and the joy and the lightness of the monkey energy as well, which is great to hold, especially when we look into and we delve into these things that are at the bottom of the density of our existence that are being cleared away now in this energy. I feel that it is vital that we discern this truth in order to cut it clearly and precisely free out of our reality, because it is the foundation of our captivity. It fuels competition and commerce, leftist, rightist governments, like looks like you have a choice, but really you don't, because the same puppet masters pull the strings no matter who they are and who they pretend to be. Divisionary religions, and what is currently informing most of the people most of the time, therefore creating mayhem. Consciousness creates, so let's cut destructive consciousness away. In questing how this held in place, I explored historical eras and how they fitted in with the 9 waves of creation, the quantum science discovered by Dr. Carl Kellerman. And what I have actually discovered that within these 9-day days, there's codes, 9-day codes, and they definitely are the codes about how we can move into unity consciousness. But it really does mean that we actually look at the deepest and the darkest as well, and we don't just make it all nice and fluffy and carry on. It's actually really vital that we address what is. So I did some research on the origins of satanic ritual abuse, and it went back to becoming established in the 6th wave of the sacred Mayan calendar that began in 3115 BCE, thousands of years ago. And there's more information on that topic in the Awakening with the Sun video, and that's linked in here. So zodiacs were created out of the observation of astrology and Mayan observations and cosmology. These zodiacs, I think there's 3. There's the Babylonian ones, there's the Chinese one, and then there's also I think it's Hindu or Indian anyway. But these zodiacs move consciousness away from the receiving of soul light energies each day, and they move them from the heart of Father Sky, of the cosmic axis. So Babylonian priests, and some of them now are Magi Straits, they started the consciousness of good and evil and created malevolent and benevolent gods assigned to the planets in the calendars they created with ritual dates to appease these gods with blood sacrifices. Although it appears, especially when you do a little Google search, they still tend to hide the child sacrifice element of everything. Even though it appears that they only initially sacrificed animals, humans also were, and many babies and children. These days, the priests are of the Vatican, and the ritualistic calendar is called the Gregorian calendar, and it dominates the world. And it's all connected up with the secret societies that are around the world, controlling the whole world, leading the major big shadow government, which feeling is that it's actually getting taken over at this stage. The rituals still continue to this day. They took consciousness away from the pure source energy that is fueled as it passes through the sun, and attached it to Saturn in the creation of the Babylonian zodiac, which would ultimately predict the best dates to perform their rituals and make government decisions to keep people under control. They invite the masses to celebrate on these days, and that creates more loosh for their rituals, e.g. Christmas, Easter, New Year's, Halloween, and numerical portal days, etc. So Saturn holds the energy of Satanism, calling this planet, Saturn, the father of time, and it is a false time construct. So in courts, they also worship Satan, so they are of the black sun. So they've moved consciousness away, and that is why it is just so satanic, because it's sourceless. It's people trying to be the gods and play the gods in this world. Cronus, the malevolent god who ate his own children, and he's the god of chronological or linear time, is the punisher and disciplinarian to keep conformity assigned to this planet. So of course they come through courts as well. Of course there are other aspects of Saturn in astrology, but that does not take away from the fact that Cronus is there, and astrologers acknowledge Saturn as the ruler of time. And since astrology has got so big, and it really does predict, because it is the creation from the creative source codes of the sun, it does show things, but it's still taking consciousness away from that source connection. Like, why don't we just go straight to source through receiving those amazing energies of the solar sun, and not within this, well, this is what's panned out because that's what's created and this is what's going to happen now kind of thing. Although I do find astrology fascinating. So I see the false time construct as one of the greatest psychological operations on earth, getting people to comply and compete to bring energy like money and loosh to the priestly classes who practice black magic, fueling legislation Of course, the topper is super raw to me because I am one of the few survivors, and most don't, and it's a miracle that some do, who have lived and recalled memories. And the survivors at the moment are really speaking out from their place, and they really do have some incredible insights to see. It's just that no one will listen to them because they're just seen as damaged people so much. I mean, I've had to deal with all the kinds of mental health that go with that kind of abuse to come to a place where I've stabilised more myself. So the science of the brain is also connected to the sixth wave era of time, and lengths that this world goes to keep it hidden and covered by covens is astounding. So please, let's do what we can to remove our consciousness from the false time construct. Sensitive people are currently observing time bending and warping. You may really notice it. This is great. This is a wonderful, wonderful sign to me. It's a part of the dismantling that comes with awareness. So imagine no longer being in a days, D-A-Y-S, and having a week, W-E-A-K, end, and every 7 days is starting on Saturn Day. This construct is so old, people's consciousness holds it in linear time. Like, all the thinking is generated around this calendar. It's quite incredible. It really is one of the biggest strongholds, and it's very satanic. So we are moving into timelessness and the ability to move through all time all at once if we have freed ourselves from the false time matrix and reclaimed our soul shards back into the one, and also learned about unconditional love and practice that. But if not, the answer will always be in the future, and the future will continue to be more controlled and dangerous the more that people hold on. They'll be going through all of these portal dates of the Gregorian calendar after another, one after another, always, but not actually finding that freedom of now within that quantum field that we actually exist in. But people still identify very much with their bodies only. So there is a splitting of realities. I'm only looking towards the one where the sacrificing of children, people and animals has all been undone, because the necessary step out of the labyrinth of captivity has been done. I highly recommend making the cut. And even if you just did a short study and looked up how Babylonian astrology was made, and just remembering that it's actually the solar sun that the source energies come through, not Saturn, the black sun, bearing that in mind, you will start to see revelations even that way, even though I like my meditation energy more than anything, but sometimes Google confirms it. So chronological time, one of the grandest deceptions ever, connected to death, killing, war and taxes. You can frick off now. You and all your skullduggery be gone. And because of love and forgiveness, it is being done through the hearts and minds of us who are probably listening or tuning into this. The killing cannot come into a new earth reality. It has no place there, and ignorance is not going to serve anyone or anything on this matter that materialised through the hijacking of human consciousness. We have to be well informed in a new earth reality to make sure that we don't dip back into this kind of these kinds of atrocities. So, a great big flick of the sacred knife blade through all who love and care, especially for children. And seriously, I don't wish you to see what I've had to, but your contribution is immensely valuable, and I pray that more people will do the correcting thing. So much love to you. And we've got the other contributing energies. So we are in the DAYWAVE of 140, 13 monkey, right halfway there today. And the higher our vibration, the more light and playful is our magical destiny road. Innocence, curiosity, and playing with illusion to enlighten our minds artfully. So, a lot of people are afraid of magic and they see it as witchcraft and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of it has been that. It has been that black magic. But humanity, we have to remember that we are magical. And they hide magic and make it seem like it's all evil. But when we are in unconditional love and when our frequency is really, really high, then our magic is pure and it's innocent and it works for the best of everybody. So this is an intuitive perspective of the ninth wave, true time sacred mind energies in connection with Mother Earth. And she is the life force source and planetary materialization of our consciousness, as well as the planets and how they move in the universe. And Father Sky, who is the source of the energetic light frequencies from the cosmic axis. Oh, embrace them. It's a beautiful summery day here. It's actually my born day, so I thought I'll come out and do this here in the sun and have a nice kai, a nice meal. And I focus on the highest potential that the energies bring, and this will connect with few, and together we are strong. And it's intended for entertainment purposes. So let's entertain the unified field with our consciousness, the sacred energies of Source as they arrive through the solar sun each day. So much love to you.